4K has been all the rage in the industry for a long time now, and now Amazon Fire Stick has a 4K 10-bit HDR capable version, so it is kind of self-explanatory. It's a Fire Stick and it plays 4K. But there is more to it, as it is the fastest performing Fire Stick and it comes with voice remote with Alexa integration. So we are going to see how it performs, how versatile it is, and whether it is worth it buying for your 4K display. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and this is Fire Stick 4K review. In the box, you get an HDMI extension so it can fit at back of your TV in case it doesn't have enough space. Then you have the power adapter, AAA batteries from Amazon Basics. You have the voice remote and finally the Fire Stick itself. The Fire Stick is actually not shaped like a stick. It's a rectangular block with an HDMI port on one side and a micro USB port on one side for power. You might be tempted to power this with your TV's USB port, but the power adapter supplies 1 ampere of current, which I really don't think you will find with your TV's USB port. So you will have to use the power adapter supplied and have a wire hanging from the stick. Installation on my TV required the use of extension cable provided, and I would have preferred them also supplying a female to female HDMI adapter. The Alexa voice remote that comes with Fire Stick is really nice. It feels really premium in hand, the buttons are very tactile and it's designed very well. It has a raised direction pad ring which is very easy to feel, and its glossy finish also makes it look very classy. The remote also has extra buttons for skipping forward or backwards and for playing and pausing. They are very useful and they also help in navigating through the interface as they work as shortcut buttons. The remote pairs with your TV, so the power and volume button on the Fire Stick remote actually control the volume and power on your TV. This is really great as you can basically operate everything using just the Fire Stick remote, but this also means that you cannot control volume of Bluetooth devices that are connected to the Fire Stick. The setup is pretty easy, just plug it into your HDMI port with power and switch your TV's input. It will connect to your Wi-Fi and download updates if it needs to. Then you have to log in with your Amazon account and you will get to see a very nice intro video. The interface of Fire Stick is surprisingly great. It is very fluid and the UI makes a lot of sense. Amazon Prime Video takes up most of the home screen, but you can go to app sections in one of the tabs. Still, on the home screen, the apps and video content are mixed up, which is something I am not a fan of, but you can access the app drawer by holding the home button and then selecting the apps icon. And you also have a shortcut to the settings menu here. The settings menu is pretty good. It's fast and simple navigating through it, and it also has some advanced features without complicating the menu system. You can attach Bluetooth devices like keyboards and speakers, and I would strongly recommend that you use a Bluetooth keyboard if you don't want to feel like killing yourself while entering text. I was hoping that you would be able to type using voice, but that isn't possible with Alexa, which sucks. You can only give it commands it understands, otherwise it will just search for whatever it doesn't recognize as a command. You can ask it to do the usual Alexa stuff using voice remote. Start playing songs by Deadmau5.
Shuffling songs by Deadmau5 on Amazon Music.
Including checking weather, news, your Amazon orders, playing music and movies. I found it to be somewhat limited than Alexa on Echo speakers, but it can still do more than what you would want from your TV. Who is the president of Uganda?
Uganda's president is Yoweri Museveni.
If you have an Echo device, you can ask it to play anything you want on TV. Alexa, start playing Suits on Netflix.
Getting Suits from Prime Video.
You can also do this with the remote, but doing it using the smart speaker will make the speaker seem more useful. It's also the cooler way of doing it, and you also help Jeff Bezos stay the richest man on planet. Coming to the performance, the Fire Stick has a MediaTek 8695 quad-core CPU running at 1.7 GHz with 1.5 GB of RAM and 8 GB of onboard storage. The performance is actually really good. It's fast and fluid, and I never found the interface hanging or slowing down. 8GB of storage is also okay for this kind of device, but I wish there was more RAM on this device, as I expect at least 2GB of RAM from something costing 6000 rupees. Still, I never found it hanging or slowing down, so I won't say that it affects the performance. But I don't think it handles more than 2 or 3 apps at the same time, so they will get killed and will have to be reloaded. You can browse internet using Silk browser, which is surprisingly silky and can handle complex web pages. And it also doesn't require a mouse to browse websites. Other services like Netflix and JioCinema are also available depending on which area you are in, and it is also pretty well localized for different areas. But YouTube on Fire Stick is the biggest concern for most people, including me. While you don't have the full YouTube app anymore because Google and Amazon are not very good friends, you can access YouTube using the Silk browser, which basically takes you to youtube.com/leanback, and the experience is surprisingly great. It really doesn't feel like you are running it through a browser, and it feels identical to the full app. And even when you select to play a video on your phone on the TV, it will open YouTube through Silk browser and it will play just like it gets played on the app. So you really have no compromises there. But if you are like me and you prefer using the actual Android TV app, don't worry, because you can install Android apps on Fire Stick, including Kodi, YouTube, or the Smart YouTube app for an even better experience. There are multiple ways to install apps, which you can Google, but the simplest way I found was using the Apps to Fire app from Play Store. You have to enable unknown sources and ADB on the Fire Stick in the developer options. Then you have to note the IP address of Fire Stick on your network, then use that in the app while it's connected to the same Wi-Fi network, and install applications from your phone. So being able to install Android apps makes the Fire Stick very versatile, and I am glad that they went with Android 7.1 instead of some proprietary software. You can also upload and download files using the FTP protocol, so if you don't have any other option, you can play your local video files on it using MX Player. But wireless file transfer is kind of slow, so transferring bigger files will take a while, and you may not be able to play those big Blu-ray files if they are larger than 4 or 5 GB. It supports all video codecs that you will likely encounter, like HEVC and VP9, and it also supports all audio codecs including Dolby Atmos. Fire Stick also supports all video standards and is also HDR enabled, supporting HDR10 Plus and HLG, so you can enjoy HDR content on your HDR enabled panels, and it also supports Dolby Vision, which isn't available with the competition. You can also play games on the stick by connecting a Bluetooth controller, which I consider an insult to gaming in general, but you can play some simple games or keep your kids entertained with this poor man's Dark Souls, which is actually more difficult to play than Dark Souls, so that is interesting. You can not cast your phone or computer screen to Fire Stick like Miracast or Chromecast enabled devices, which is weird, but I never used that feature as I always find the video to be very visibly compressed. So in conclusion, I can say that the new Fire Stick 4K is really great addition to your 4K TV. It is not the cheapest solution, but it actually offers great value when you consider that it supports all kinds of audio and video codecs available along with newer HDR standards, which makes it future-proof. It is also pretty fast and fluid and feels better to operate than my Mi TV Box 3. I also really like the interface and prefer it over the new Android TV Oreo interface because it's simpler while still being functional. Amazon Prime Video and Music are extremely cheap in India, and it is not easy to play Amazon Prime on other smart TVs and boxes and requires some workarounds with browser and mouse, which is just too complicated for a comfortable viewing experience. But Fire Stick also integrates well with other services like Netflix and even JioCinema and handles YouTube well too, so you have everything covered. Alexa is also very powerful and can help with many things outside of TV, and you can also install apps like other Android devices, which makes it very versatile. The only drawback here is that you cannot plug in pen drives like Android boxes, so you will have to do some advanced wireless file transfer if you want to play those pirated episodes of Game of Thrones. So I hope this video was helpful for you in deciding whether it's worth going for the Fire Stick 4K. You can buy it from my affiliate links in the description below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to the channel with bell icon for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.